Guys, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Of course, we all know as of this past weekend, I'm not picking Penn State to beat Ohio State. But it's also my job to go on this channel and give a case and scenario for the underdog. I do the same thing for MMA, and how they could win this game or at least come close. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. It's actually brought more attention to my channel. So here we go. If Penn State beats Ohio State, there's a few things that they have to do. Good news, Ohio State's offense is more balanced than Michigan. What do I mean by that? It's simple. Michigan is a running first team. They're a smash mouth football team. They run the football right up the gut, and they're very powerful. Their offensive line is very good. Now, Ohio State's offensive line is also very good, but they're not really reliant on the run nowhere near as much as Michigan does. Ohio State has a quarterback, C.J. Stroud, that's going to air it out on you. That's an advantage for Penn State. They don't have to worry about a team that runs constantly down the throat. All right? So they won't have to worry about defending it as much. Okay? So I think they can, if they can somehow hold Ohio State in the red zone and not give up much, they need to have a bend, don't break approach when it comes to running the football and throwing it. And actually, when you have a team that throws the football a lot like Ohio State does, that creates opportunities for Penn State's defensive players. They have a lot of athleticism. The one good thing that came from the Michigan game was the fact that Michigan didn't exactly get to throw it like they wanted. They ran for a lot, but they didn't throw it as much. Now, I know Ohio State's a better passing team than Michigan, but again, that creates opportunities. The times Michigan did throw the football, one throw was a pick six. And the way they had it was a lot of athleticism involved. So I think Penn State's DBs are good enough to slow down, if not make big plays on Ohio State's passing game in this game. I don't think they're going to shut down Ohio State's offense. That ain't happening. But they're good enough to slow it down and get interceptions, or at least bat the ball away and make Ohio State punt the football more. I think they're good enough to do that. I think they're good enough to keep Ohio State from running the ball like Penn State did, like Michigan did, excuse me. And the fact that this is a home game for Penn State, it's going to help them out big time. All right? They're not going to the big house to play. So that's going to be a big factor. And another big factor is Penn State's offense. They're also very balanced. Now, they don't have the firepower that Ohio State has as far as receivers or even running backs, but they're still pretty darn good, and they can pick you apart if you're not careful. Their passing game is really good. It's always pretty good every year. But what really is surprising is Penn State's running game. I think Penn State's good enough to get at least 100 yards. They're not going to run all over Ohio State. That ain't happening. Ohio State's defense, and I will admit I'm wrong, it's better than it has been in a long time. It's more aggressive. The scheme, schematically, everything's better. But if you got a team that can run the ball like Penn State, and you got a quarterback like Clifford that can air it out on you, that'll confuse Ohio State's defense, and that'll give your offense a chance to make some explosive plays, which they're known for. They're known for making explosive plays, throwing the football. And their running game is really good this year. That's something they didn't have last year. And I think the fact that Penn State's already faced C.J. Stroud, and they've watched him play since last year's game, they're going to develop better defensively. They're going to anticipate where he moves, his footwork tendencies, his decision-making tendencies, and they're going to be able to bottle him up enough to where they can slow down Ohio State's offense. Again, not shut it down. Ain't nobody shutting down Ohio State. That's just not going to happen. But if Penn State can do all these things and not turn the ball over, worst case scenario Penn State has to be okay with is going 3 and out some drives. They also need to control the clock. They need to hold on to that football, even if it means going 3 and out on some drives, because that's going to happen. But it's better to eat up, let's see, 45 seconds, 25 seconds per snap, something like that, right? To eat up over a minute, you give your defense time to heal. Not heal, but rest up and get their breath back to win the line of scrimmage against Ohio State's offensive line. Because what were Ohio State's weaknesses this year? Line of scrimmage against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense is not as good, as talented, but it hasn't really won all their games either. Penn State's defense has more athleticism, in my opinion, than Notre Dame did. And their offense is better than Notre Dame. And Notre Dame kept it close at Ohio State. This game's at Penn State. Again, I am by no means picking Penn State to win this game. But if they win, or if it's very, very close, these are the factors. Ball control, the run game, slowing down Ohio State's run game because they're more reliant on the passing game than Michigan was. And again, this is a home game. This is not being played at the big house. It's not being played at Ohio State. And for some reason, every year, this is an interesting game. And you're going to have a big crowd there. So Penn State can definitely win the football game. I'm being honest. I just wouldn't put money on it or bet them or anything like that. But if they win, I wouldn't be too terribly surprised.